Yeah, I'm just calling because I'm sorry. This is Chuck POI from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm just calling because I have a question in regards to Ukraine. I know you talk about it a lot lately, and essentially, I was just wondering, like, all these weapons that we are sending over to Ukraine, there's a risk that a lot of these are going over to the Azov Battalion and certain radicalist groups over there. I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on that, if we were creating a new, like, mujahideen, Taliban kind of situation in Ukraine possibly in the future.
I mean, I would imagine that the weapons are going to all of the military there, but no, do I think that we're creating some type of, like, I mean, none of these groups have a history, in my estimation, of like, you know, international terror. No, I think that is, like, honestly, I mean, look, you're flooding a country with weapons. I think that's going to be an issue after the fact. But do I think that they're going to start to be like they're going to be their own separatist organization? No.
We should be helping
We had
Ukraine.
an expert on at the beginning of this conflict who addressed sort of like that Azov Battalion. And look, we had a general in the United States military that got up in front of at a military function and basically said, our God is better than their God. And we're going to, I mean, like, you'd be hard pressed to find a military where there aren't, like, fascistic elements within a military, regardless of what country it is. I mean, you really, like, you know, like, we've got those problems. You know, the Christian Theocratic fundamentalist problem that we have in the U.S. military, I think, is massive. It is widespread. And so, I think that, like, honestly think that the sort of, like, the focus on that battalion, to whatever extent that they are, appraising of Nazis, I think is really overblown.
It's a great point. And, like, I also just feel like there is, like, the battalion element. It makes it sound more concrete than it actually is. Like, it's like with cops as well. You're always going to find people drawn to authoritarian or, like, fascist type stuff when they're just, frankly, in that environment. And sometimes it draws those kinds of people too.
I understand what you guys are saying. I just brought that question up simply because I saw, like, a report from CNBC, I believe, that said, like, 30% of the weapons were actually making it to the military. They withdrew that number, but even if that number is even a fraction of that percentage, that's I mean, we're still.
Whenever we sell weapons, they end up going everywhere. I mean, that's part of the reason why, in general, you know, like, you don't want to sell. You don't want to. Weapons manufacturers are just they're pumping stuff out the door, of course. But the idea that, like, you know, every adult male over what age, is 18, 17 in Ukraine has been basically told, get a gun. The country is being invaded. Yeah. The entire country is being invaded.
You want to start nationalism, invade a country.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. But no matter how you slice it, once Russia decided to invade Ukraine, a lot of this stuff was sort of inevitable. It was just going to be a question of, like, how is this? I mean, can you imagine Russia if they were, let's say, successful, like 2/3 successful, just in what their ambitions were of taking over Ukraine? Think about what's going on in that situation. We're arming the resistance. The resistance is significant. We're pumping guns in there. They're willy-nilly. There's no structure to any of this. They're, cross-border, incursions into Russia and whatnot. I mean, that's the other scenario. It's not like the other scenario is like, okay, Russia invades, they take over, it's very peaceful. That's not the way it was going to work out. You know how big a battalion is, right?
No idea. No.
Okay, take a guess.
If I had to say 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000's like, I think, on the high end of a battalion. How many hundreds of thousands of people do you think are fighting in Ukraine?
Yeah, probably quite a few. I'm not saying anything about like not arming Ukraine. Just to be clear, I'm just
You're just
asking
curious.
about
Yeah.
like
No, I know, I got you.
that
I got you.
that
I'm
could
just,
occur.
I'm not even arguing this with you. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, this is, I think, and again, I've been, you know, quite clear that I want there to be some semblance of conditions, and I think it's there should be a diplomatic track that is being followed that obviously has ebbs and flows at different times based upon what's going on the ground. But I do think that like the talking point that like we're funding, you know, 1,000 Nazis out of like, you know, assuming like, even if I stipulate that, I think is really overblown.
Well, it also is caving into what Putin has been like his propaganda effort for this war, which was that this is a denazification effort.
That's the thing, is there's two reasons why the Azov Battalion has so much prominence, and versus which Emma said, and the main one, which is that like Russia has made it a object of war propaganda and invasion propaganda. And on the flip side, as a response to that, you have people who, like, especially in the media, and this is what really riles up people on the left, is when you'll see like a picture of somebody with like an Azov marking or something like that, and then it looks, and it kind of is media apologizing for like that sort of, maybe like the Bandera ideology, which is grotesque, but like it's the emphasis is, like you said about the numbers, it's overemphasized because of basically countering propaganda lines.
And if we were to poll, like on an issue by issue basis, what some views are in like our military, I don't think it would be, as you said, Sam, I'm kind of just restating it, but that different than in Ukraine. If not like more proportional here, because as you like they've had to get everybody to fight the invasion in Ukraine. It's a wider swath of people, but
yeah, but is it going to be a crap show? Yeah, but that it was a crap show the day Russia decided to invade. It's just a question of like exactly what the shape of the crap show is going to be. All right, let's get to some IMs and then we got to get out of here. Folks, that completes the call-in portion of our call. I'm sorry we didn't get to too many, but we'll be taking plenty of calls over the next couple of days in preparation for the election.
Tomorrow.
Which is tomorrow, for those of you who have forgotten.